I'm Melissa Brown-Knox, and on behalf of We Object, lawyers and the Oakland County Bar Association, the ACLU of Michigan, and the Lawyers for Good Government, and the people gathering here today and in 50 other demonstrations just like this one across the country simultaneously, I welcome you to this event. Thank you for being here and for standing up. I'm pleased to recognize Judge James Massaroni. Where are you? There you are. Thank you for coming from Macomb County Circuit Court. And Judge Paul Borman of the U.S. District Court. Oh, hi. Do we have any other judges here that we'd like to recognize? Oh, Judge Friedman. He'll be administering the oath. Yes. I don't want to forget. So thank you to the organizing committee, a group of regular folks who came together in response to current events and the call to action for Lawyers for Good Government. And many thanks to responding to all of you for responding to this call and taking a stand for the rule of law, an independent judiciary, and for the independence of the legal profession. And for today's nonpartisan, and it should go without saying, nonviolent event. We're not a violent bunch. And to the bar associations and other organizations who helped spread the word about this event, thank you. None of you would be here without that, so thank you for that. In a few minutes, the lawyers among us will reaffirm our oath, and which will include our commitments to support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Michigan, and to truth, honor, fidelity, and to support the cause of the defenseless and the oppressed. I am honored to reaffirm that oath here with you today. Erica Persman will now introduce Professor, I'm going to screw it up, Bagenstos. And after his remarks, Judge Friedman will re-administer the attorney's oath. So Ms. Persman. All right.
Our very fancy risers here. Professor Sam Bagenstos is a legal superstar. His CV spans 19 pages on the U of M Law School faculty website, but since we are on a tight time frame here, I'm only going to hit the highlights. After college at the University of North Carolina and Harvard Law School, Professor Bagenstos clerked for Judge Stephen Reinhart on the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals and Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg. He spent the first 10 years of his teaching career at Harvard Law School and Washington University School of Law, but lucky for us, he has been a professor at the University of Michigan Law School. Aren't you going to do Globe Blue? Since 2009, specializing in civil rights, labor and employment law, health law, and governance. He was on leave twice, the first time in President Obama's first term to serve as the #2 official in the Civil Rights Division of the U.S. Department of Justice, and just recently to serve as General Counsel to the Office of Management and Budget, and then as General Counsel to the Department of Health and Human Services under President Biden. Professor Bagenstos has argued 4 cases before the U.S. Supreme Court, has testified before Congress numerous times, has written many scholarly articles and 2 books, and speaks regularly at seminars and on news shows and podcasts. He is also an extremely nice guy. Sam?
Thank you. After that introduction, I don't know that I can match what you're expecting, but let me first of all say thank you to everyone who organized this event and these events around the country. And I have been speaking to friends around the country who are attending events just like this all over the place, including one on the Supreme Court steps in D.C. So you're a part of all of that. So thank you all for being a part of that. I have been asked to say a few words about why we're here, why we should be protecting the rule of law, and probably this is not going to be news to a lot of people here, okay? I think you get it. And I was joking to David Jaffe a minute ago, well, maybe all I need to do is some arm gestures, you know? But that's not what you bring in the professor for. So I'm going to say a little bit just to kind of bring us back to the core principles of why we need the rule of law in a democratic republic. What is the rule of law in a democratic republic, and why do we need it? Why do we need to fight for it? And fundamentally, the rule of law means that we are governed by laws that we, the people, and our representatives create. We are not governed by the whims or the interests of particular individuals. And so what that means is all of us, no matter how strong or how weak we are, have an obligation to follow the law and are protected by the law. Nobody is above the law and nobody is beneath the law's protection. Those are fundamental principles. We have fundamental principles like due process before our liberty is taken away, like basic individual rights being protected. That's what the rule of law is. Now, just to state that is to understand why it's so important. We obviously know these are ideals. Are these ideals that this country or any country has ever fully lived up to? No, absolutely not. Have we had true democracy for everybody in this country? At no point have we had true democracy for everybody in this country, but we have fought to expand democracy in the best of times. We have worked to expand democracy. Have we guaranteed to everybody the rights that are protected on paper in our Constitution? Have we guaranteed them to people in fact? No, but we have fought for that. Do we have a world in which everybody is subject to the law in the same way? No, we have too much elite impunity, but we have fought against that. What we mean to do when we fight for the rule of law is fight for the realization of those ideals that are essential to a democratic society. And why are they essential? Without the rule of law in the democratic society, it means we pass laws. We come together as people to elect representatives who pass laws, and then those laws don't get implemented. That means our democracy is not working. It means that we can live in a world in which an individual who is powerful, who is running the country, can subject us to corruption and oppression and abuse because that individual is serving his own interests and not the interests of the law. And it means fundamentally that our democracy can be under threat because we can be threatened with significant sanctions, harm of all sorts of kinds if we challenge the existing regime. We need to have the rule of law ultimately to protect democracy, our ability to come together and solve problems together and ensure that when things are going wrong, we can throw out the people who are doing wrong things. That's the way democracy works, and the rule of law is essential to that. And what is essential to that is that everyone in every branch of government adhere to the law. And when folks in the executive branch or Congress are not adhering to the law, when folks in those branches are not standing up against challenges to the law, we need the courts to step in. Fundamentally, the courts are the last refuge when the other branches are not doing their jobs, and they have a job to comply with the law, to carry out the law. The courts need to step in. And when courts are attacked because they are standing up for the law, because they are ensuring that powerful individuals are held accountable for complying with the law, when courts are attacked, that is a challenge not just to judges, not just to the building back there, but to our democracy, because the rule of law is what's essential to making our democracy work. And so I'm really proud to be with folks here standing up for the rule of law, standing up against attacks on the rule of law and attacks on those who would vindicate the rule of law. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all for everything you do every day to stand up for the rule of law.
All right, thank you, Professor. All right, now for the lawyers in the audience, we are going to reaffirm our oath, and Martin will be introducing Judge Friedman. Thank you.
So today we have the honor of being sworn in again. You know, it's like getting married again on a ship, you know, second marriage, you know. We're going to do this because we are dedicated to preserve the rule of law and protect judges and lawyers against those who seek to eliminate the rule of law or significantly impair it so that it's not functional. So today we are going to be sworn in by Judge Bernard Friedman, retired, who for 6 years was a judge in the 48th, was it? 48th District Court. And then for the last 36 years, he was a judge across the street. So here we are from district court to district court. And so there's possibilities for all of us. So Judge Friedman, the most notable case I can recall is he was the original judge, the trial judge on the same-sex marriage case that ultimately went to the Supreme Court. So as we affirm our oath to the rule of law, Judge Friedman will administer that to us.
Thank you. What a beautiful sight. I mean, I walked across the street today and I said, what a beautiful sight. Such a great crowd. And it's just amazing. Let me start off, and I wasn't going to really say anything. But you know, you put a microphone in front of a judge. And number one and foremost, thank you. The support that you're giving.
Can you put it
I'm sorry. The support that you're giving not only to the judiciary, but to every citizen, because what we're talking about is the rule of law. And it doesn't just affect one or two, it affects everybody. And we need those kind of advocates to make sure that it is done in the way it is supposed to be done. And I can't thank you enough for being here. I can tell you right now, Judge Borman had to go, that as I walked through the building, many judges, Chief Magistrate Judge Grand passed me and said, I wish I could be there, but I have duties here, and other judges, and we appreciate the support that you're giving us. No, I'm going to administer the oath, and it's emotional. I'll get out of the rain, but you know, my mother was very superstitious. So she said, if it rains on an event, then whatever that event was there for, it's going to happen. So God willing, it may take a little time. I don't want to get into politics, but it's got to happen. And we appreciate the support very much, especially the judicial branch. I read this oath again, and I can't believe all the things that it says. And it's important for not only us as lawyers, but it should be published. The general public should know what we're about and what oath that we took, not only to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, but as I go through, you'll remember. I mean, I didn't remember, but I said, oh, this is what it's all about. Okay, for those that, I put my robes on because it was raining. I wasn't sure. So we'll get you out of here. For those that are attorneys and for those that are non-attorneys, this oath is so good for everybody. As I said, hopefully it'll be published. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Michigan, that you will maintain and respect due courts of justice and judicial officers, that you will not counsel or maintain any suit or proceeding which shall appear to be unjust, nor any defense except such as you believe to be honestly debatable under the law of the land, that you will employ for the purpose of maintaining the causes confined to you such means only as are consistent with the truth and honor, that you will never seek to mislead the judge or jury or any artifice or false statement of fact or law, that you will maintain the confidence and preserve inviolate the secrets of your clients, and will accept no compensation in connection with your client's business except with your client's knowledge and approval, You will abstain from all offensive personality and advance no fact prejudicial to the honor or reputation of a party or witness, unless required by the justice of the cause with which you are charged. You will never reject any consideration personal to yourself to cause the defenseless or oppressed, or delay any cause for lucre or malice. That you will, at all respects, conduct yourself personally and professionally in conformity with the high standards of conduct imposed upon members of the bar as conditions for the privilege to practice law in the state. If you do, we do. We do. That Constitution, we are going to protect the Constitution. We're going to defend the Constitution. We are going to be out there. We'll be in everybody's face, and we'll tell them it was raining today, and it's going to happen. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, everybody. All right, so what next? Everybody who came here, if you signed up through the Active Network, thank you. If you signed up through the Active Network, we are going to send out a notice for a meeting next week via Zoom, 6 o'clock on Wednesday. And if you're interested in getting involved with us to determine what our next steps are, that is the place to be. If you want more information, you can go to we-object.org and sign up for email updates and stuff like that. This is just, we're a loose group of volunteers at this point, so we're not going to spam your inbox. But thank you so much. Give yourselves a round of applause for coming out here today. And thank you very much. And if it pleases you, I would love to have us hold up the Constitution, but it's raining, so maybe not. We don't want it won't melt. It's not made of sugar. So, all right. Thank you so much, everybody. Yes, it's just as sweet. Just not made of sugar, but just as sweet. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thank you. Oh my God, I forgot I had an umbrella.